Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kansas Sports HQ, episode 59. We have Jacob Compton in the building with the Kansas Curve Collegiate team, KCLB 2025 league champs. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Wonderful.
How's everyone else doing?
Doing great. Sweaty.
Sweaty. Did some running this morning?
Did some running.
Yeah.
Movement
Wasn't doing
Monday.
good until you reminded me that we weren't league champs last year.
Movement Monday, huh?
Making them feel it.
Yeah. It's going to be a cold one today for sure. It's only like 33 is the high.
Really?
It's winter. Did you know that?
Winter
I was talking to
finally is
my
here.
brother last night, because it was cold on Friday, Saturday, and then it was pretty nice yesterday. But he was like, yeah, it was warm here a few days ago, and now it's cold again. So I was like, oh, so that's going to come down. And
It's just going to get us. Yeah, it's
not
gonna
as
get
bad
us.
as it is up there. But
I
yeah.
looked at the week.
I mean, seeing some of those games where,
Oh, no.
it was cold. I did see a stat. The Rams won a game for the first time in 26 years that started below zero.
Impressive.
That's crazy. And then obviously the turnover happy weekend in New England. And then Bo Nix fracturing an ankle.
That was wild.
That is wild. Yeah. I mean, and then just seeing good old Nick Foles post, too funny. Patriots do struggle with backup quarterbacks in the playoffs. So maybe Jared Stidham is going to do something fancy. You never know.
Doubt it, but
Who knows? I don't know. Sean Payton's, they're probably sleeping in the same room right now. All right, man. Let's get the
defense will
projector.
keep him in there.
Who's the big spoon?
Probably Stidham. He's a big guy.
Sean Payton's not a big spoon
Yeah.
kind of guy.
No.
Drew Brees was the big spoon.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
But yeah, their defense
So-
will keep them in the game for sure. Obviously, they play well, but
And the season ends for my dudes in blowout fashion. I don't think they went down without swinging, but it's still
They didn't swing very hard.
not very hard. I mean, they just couldn't get anything going and
how
whatever.
many interceptions did Brock have?
I don't know, dude.
As a guy who swung at a lot of
I didn't watch.
dirt ball 0-2 curveballs, I understand. Just
I guarantee
you gave
he
it
had
some
at least
effort,
one.
but it wasn't
man.
pretty.
Well, minor situation here. Our internet is having some fun. So if I disappear, it's still recording. We just don't have internet live.
Mine's live. Which one are you on?
I'm chilling.
Oh, I'm still not back. There we go. We're back. We're back.
I'm 87%. I'm rocking.
Oh
Sean
no,
over there.
no.
Not
Mine's
sure.
the one that
Dave's at
shows
20.
live.
18.
Yeah.
dropping.
Oh, I'm on Wichita Parisi.
He's on life
Shoot.
support.
Oh, he's going away. No. The
I'm on
podcast
Wichita
is
Parisi.
live through my computer and it's not coming back.
Well, I'm on speed kills.
I'm trying to get there. Nope.
Speed kills. Yeah.
Nope. Come on. Sorry about the delay, everyone. We definitely want to get into the conversation with Compton. Oh, we're back. All right.
Just a roller coaster of emotions.
Oh man, Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Kids are out of school. People are off of work. Finally getting Compton in here. He's been asking us to get on here. So, Compton, what's going on, man? How's Well, we had a league meeting last night,
Mhm.
and are you ready for 2026?
I'm very excited. Yeah. We have a lot of good things moving forward, a lot of good things with recruiting. I talked to Baca last night. We have a lot of good guys coming back, a lot of good numbers coming in. So we're in the best spot at this point we've been in the last couple of years as far as numbers and quality. So it's just praying that they actually show up on report day. That's
Right.
the biggest thing. So I think for that, I'd just say keep on coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The when Jacob Baca was in here, it's the tale of two Jacobs here.
I know.
But when Baca was in here, he said, you are the juice to everything on the college team. So like you have energy that has energy.
Yeah.
And he was very adamant to make sure we knew how much energy you bring. So kind of talk about that a little bit, man. I mean, that's a cool thing. And we definitely want to hear why you're so hyped all the time.
Yeah. I mean, even as a player, one of the things when I was in college, we were kind of taught and kind of learned the idea of was hype levels. So understanding what your hype level is as a player, as a coach, even as a person in general, understanding who you are and what your max hype level is. So for me, it was a good 7, 8, 9 at the time. Getting pumped up to play a game, getting pumped up to coach a game, and kind of feeding off of that. So energy is contagious. Energy is something that always can create good opportunities rather than bad, as long as it's focused energy and has a lot of intent behind it. So that's kind of where it's kind of all started. Was as a player, that's kind of what I wanted to be, was a hype guy, a guy that no matter, especially as a pitcher, just not having a lot of impact on the game all the time. So being that positive influence in the dugout has kind of created that coaching side of me to be that same kind of person, to where I don't make a lot of impact in the game. I don't get to throw a pitch. I don't get to swing at anything. I don't get to steal a bag. I don't do anything like that. So from the coach's standpoint, being able to create the energy with myself and kind of see the guys that are around me and kind of see, like, okay, if coach can get hot and get hype and into it, I think I can, intensify myself a little bit to kind of create a better impact on the game.
I think at the league championship game, you kind of turned it up to 11.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Yeah.
There was a lot of intent behind that. There's a lot of purpose. I mean, I Park City has always been a team I enjoy beating, and I think that's hopefully going to continue. I think there's always been a rivalry there, seeing how we're always at the top 2, top 3. So I hope to continue that kind of rivalry. I think rivalries make sports better. So creating one with Randy, even though I loved Randy, I still love Randy and respect him a lot, and sad to see him go. But at the same time, now there's a new coach and new people to kind of create relationships with and create a rivalry on the field, but still have respect and kind of treat each other well as we're league mates outside of off the field. So
Absolutely. So let's rewind a little bit. Tell us more about like your playing days and what drove you to become a coach.
So I went to Goddard High School, played 4 years baseball there, 3 years varsity. After that, I went to Pratt Community College. It was really kind of my only offer, honestly. I kind of struggled in that realm of getting recruited and kind of finding the right piece. And then I had a coach reach out to me, who Stephen McNett. I don't know. I'm sure you guys know McNett. He's the one that kind of hooked me up with Pratt. Got some recruited there. Went on a visit. Really liked the small town of Pratt. Really enjoyed it. So committed there, played 2 years of baseball there, and then outside of that, had a couple offers in the fall of my sophomore year. After the sophomore showcase, went on a visit to Bellevue in Nebraska. I really liked that school. Planned on committing there, got ghosted, so that kind of worked itself out. But and then William Jewell reached out, and I went on a visit. Really loved Kansas City area. We were like 11 minutes from Kaufman, and it was a lot of fun playing there. I never knew what coaching really was until going there. And Mike Stockton's the head coach there. He's still there. He's been there a long time, and his coaching kind of aspect is all around the mental game and the mental fortitude of the sport. So everything he preached and everything he taught was based around the mental strength that you had and the mental game you had. So we had a covenant that we had to read and write and completely repeat. From every comma to every period, every capital letter, bold letter, we had to rewrite it 100% every morning in the winter. So if we didn't rewrite it completely or pass one question wrong, one comma wrong, we ran a mile. So that was our winter workouts. And then we had a weights after that. But that's kind of the aspect that we had. It was very mental. Know the game, know our plays, know our systems, know our acronyms, know everything like that. So his coaching kind of really, for a while, it felt like he was coaching from fear, but it wasn't fear. It was really just the mental capacity of how strong can you be mentally, not just inside the sport of baseball, but outside as a man, as a father, as a boyfriend, as a husband, as anything, as a worker. How mentally strong can you be? How many situations can you put yourself in mentally before physically encountering that situation? So I think the way he preached and coached really kind of influenced me to kind of continue that and kind of take that, mend it a little bit with my style of how I played and me as a person, mend that, and then kind of pursue it into coaching. So now even as a coach, like I wanted to continue that, but also wanted to kind of throw my own spin on it. So that's where the energy comes in. My coach at Jewel was he was a hype level like 3 or 4. He was very low. He didn't have a lot of energy, but he always had a smirk. He always knew he was always one step ahead.
He was more of a presence guy.
Yeah,
he was a hype guy.
Yes, he was a presence guy. Yeah, but that's kind of where it all started. Once I graduated college, I had a job lined up at General Motors in Kansas City. I actually got laid off before I even started.
Oh, wow.
There was a budget spin. Something happened. Got a call from my recruiter. Told me that, hey, it's not going to work. We're going to have to lay you off, essentially. And I didn't know how that could work when I never even had a day of work there. But that's what happened. So I ended up coming, right before I almost moved into my apartment. I was about to sign a lease to an apartment, move back to Kansas City from Wichita, and kind of start my life, essentially. And then that kind of got shut down quickly. So then my coach at Pratt reached out and said, hey, we're looking for a grad assistant. Would you like to come out? And I was like, at the time I had no girlfriend, no responsibility. I was like, sure. What else do I got to do? If there's a time to try out coaching, it's definitely when you're young, single, and dumb. So that's exactly what I did. I went to Pratt and started, being just a little grad assistant, lived in the hotel, did all those things, and kind of learned how to coach, kind of how to pay attention to different things and see how life was going to be. Even before that, I coached for the Curve in the high school team, the summer before that. So I coached with Baca for the high school team. That was my first real coaching stint. And it was a blast. I loved every bit of that summer. And then fast forwarding a little bit, I went to Pratt, and then COVID hit. So I was only be able to coach at Pratt Community College for about 8 months or so. And then COVID hit and we all got sent home. And then I bartended and did what every other broke person would do, is find any way to make money during COVID, just like everybody else tried to do. So then from there, I kind of just went on with life and just kind of found what I could do, and finally got a job at Skyward, was a bank teller for a while. And then I did into the loans, and then now I'm over at Textron delivering airplanes. So life comes at you fast, but I wanted to
bouncing around.
I know I wanted to keep coaching. So I obviously I've known Jacob Baca a long time. I was there when the Curve started, in 2016, I believe. So I've been a part of it, at least from a distance, for a long time, just knowing him and being around it and seeing it from the start, from the ground up, just from a high school team. And now there's, I don't even know, 10 teams total, 8 teams total, with a college team, 9 maybe. But it's really kind of been a fun ride. Of baseball has been a part of my life forever, since I was 3 years old playing t-ball at the YMCA, and now I'm almost 30, still coaching, haven't taken a summer off. I think Baca mentioned that when he was on. He was 100% correct. I have not taken a summer off of baseball since I've picked up a baseball.
So you live and breathe it.
Live and breathe it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Greatest game.
Yeah.
Greatest game.
When you were up, so at William Jewell, right?
Correct.
So you were getting ready to, when you finished up there, were you planning on, obviously, like, was the transition going to be, like, you didn't have any interest in coaching at that point in time?
At that point, no. I always kind of didn't know what I wanted completely.
Sure.
But I also wanted to get that big boy job, graduating college.
Yeah.
So my goal was never coaching at a school, being a head coach of a college or doing that. I always wanted to have the best of both worlds. I wanted to go have a job where my life didn't revolve around baseball. I knew I didn't want to travel. I wanted to stay Wichita, and that's good. It's a very hard thing to do if you want to stay in one place, if you want to grow your career as a coach. So I knew that my ultimate goal was to stay local, to stay in Wichita, stay around the people I know, the place I know. So I was always going to do it on the side. Either it was a club coach or something like that. And with my job at the time, coaching in the summers was the best for me.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just always crazy when you hear the stories and you think of, like, those big moments. They don't seem like it in the heat of it, but then when you look back on it, it's like, man, you get laid off before you even start.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're coaching, which is just completely out of left field, for you at that point in time.
Yeah.
Like, because that wasn't necessarily on the radar. And then, fast forward 5-6 years, and now you're, in the mix of it and, like, doing it. And it's like you're still working, obviously, outside of it, as all of us are.
But it's a career. It's a full-time commitment for, and even as the assistant during the off season, I still had communications with Baca, and I'm very blessed. He does all of our recruiting for the college team. He does a great job with it. As we're always competitive. We always try to do our best. But I think that saying that, I think it helps with me to be able to have that to step aside, and then all of a sudden the summertime is when I step up and start taking more responsibility of the college team.
Yeah.
He kind of keeps his hands out of the cookie jar during the summertime, lets me run with them and lets me take care of them and manage that side of it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's obviously the curve are growing. The organization in general, just over the whole thing, is growing. But like you said, super competitive every year. They're pretty much competitive at every team that they have, and they have been. I think since they've started. They very rarely. They're not a lot. Or I would say that they're nothing like a lot of the organizations that you hear about, where it's just like they have all these filler teams and they have all these whatever they call them, money making teams is really what they are.
Yeah.
But he's done a really good job. You guys have all done a really good job of, just keeping it about what it should be about, which is high level competitive ball
Exposure.
where you're trying to develop these kids. Like, you're not just shuffle in, shuffle out, like, and have really tried to build it the way that, I remember it being when I was growing up, because we didn't really have a lot of the academy style things back then. A few of them, handful, but not a ton. So definitely props to you guys and the organization as a whole, because I think it's kind of leading the way around our town anyway, of trying to do stuff the right way, and definitely setting a good example, no matter the age. Like, just their younger guys all the way into the college guys, like, definitely doing a good job. So that side of it is awesome. So tell us a little bit, in the summer, obviously guys get here, we operate the league teams are very similar, but walk us through, some of the things that you guys do that might be kind of what you would consider like the curve way, or, walk us in, like, as guys are reporting for you, like, what are some of the things that you guys do that kind of make it a curve
culture?
There you go. That's the right word.
I think a lot of it starts with, when they show up, it's a lot of, just kind of laying down the law of what it is to represent the curve jersey. The winning is a big part of it. Like we've talked about, is anyone who puts on purple and orange has a winning record. That's always the goal. So creating that culture and continuing that legacy of, the curve high school teams are a winning team. The curve college team is a winning team. So trying to continue that. And then this last year, we're winning the league championship. That's now a standard. That's now a goal that we always have. We've done it before. We can do it again. So that's kind of my goal to preach this season, is to say, hey, we had, probably one of our best teams last summer. I want to continue that, and that be our baseline. That team is our baseline. Another big thing is I'm not a big conflict guy. I don't enjoy a lot of conflict. So I always try to make sure my guys stay calm, stay, tempered in the dugout, as far as complaining at umpires, chirping at other players, doing those things. I've never thought that anything good comes out of that. So I'm very big on, just cool, calm, collected. That's something I've always been very hard on them. Same thing with, like, if you're going to wear a curve shirt in public, don't be a dork and do something stupid and get in trouble wearing the purple and orange, because it's kind of creating that culture of you're not putting on a t-shirt and here for 2 months. You're here to get a job done, buy in for 2 months, make it as important as you want to make it. And that's really the goal that I always try to preach to them, is like, you're not going to get anything out of this if you just show up and try to hit 20 bombs and steal 50 back. You're not going to that's your only goal. You don't want to win. You don't care about getting to know the guy next to you. You don't care about getting to know the coaches, the players, the community. Anything. If you don't care about that, then this isn't the place for you. The goal is to show up, get better, do what you can on the baseball field, make an impact to your host family, and kind of continue that legacy throughout the rest of your career as a baseball player.
Yeah.
And make sure that everything you do, every time you step on the field, every time you wake up in the morning, make sure that you're proceeding to the root. That's something that I've always kind of told myself. It's always something that I've proceed to the root. Always make sure you're going forward. Set a goal for yourself and stay on that line and keep going.
Yeah. I love that. Well, and I think that resonates, with the KCLB in general. We preach to the coaching staffs in our league meetings, stuff like that. Like, you can just tell, like, with the culture that we have, is just like you said earlier, like when we're competing on the field, everyone wants these rivalries, everyone wants to beat each other, everybody wants that. But then when we're off the field, there's just a massive amount of respect amongst all of the guys, all of the teams. Everybody's getting to know each other. Everybody's trying to work together.
Yeah.
And the league, that's why the league is seeing the success that it is seeing is, because we have the internal culture to back it up. But then two, like we don't think it's just like piss away summer. Like just, just oh yeah, summer ball just is what it is. Like just go because that's ultimately been a culture shift for the players is we've seen, over the past 5, 6, 7 years, it's turned into this like, oh, well, summer ball's not that important, because there's a million reasons why they think that. But, for us and for here, like we're trying to keep it alive in the aspect of we know how valuable these summers can be for players. If they come in and they buy into a winning culture, it can change the trajectory of their athletic careers.
Yeah.
And we all believe that because we all went through it at some point in time, somewhere with someone, with good coaches, good teams, good stuff. And it's allowed us to kind of springboard our careers in different directions and doing positive things. But, that is definitely something that we've noticed, or at least in conversations that I've had where it's like guys try to like just act like, summer ball ain't that big of a deal. Like it just is what it is. And we're like, no, not around here. Like in this league with what we're doing, summer ball is like a important thing. And we want to help you guys develop in a direction that's going to help you,
Yeah.
And so it's been a constant battle, I think, with some of these younger, immature guys where they want to go on vacation for 2 months and they don't want to do nothing, and we're like, no, dude, like we're going to play 40 baseball games in this time frame, probably more. You got to be able to lock in and like actually, buy into the things that we're trying to do, or this isn't going to be a good fit for you.
Yeah.
And so the Curve definitely, they embody that and they've been about that since the beginning. And so it's fun to watch all of that. The success follows that, like, and that's the part that, it's just, you can't say it enough, but it's just, you see why those things move in the direction that they move. It's not some secret science or it's something crazy. It's just, doing the little things right, taking care of the guy next to you, like actually caring. And then you wonder why these kids go on to bigger and better opportunities. It's like, well, that's the foundation of that. Like those guys have to have that to keep going.
Oh, you mean being a human being?
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? Why wouldn't you?
I think the cool thing that I kind of take it away from what Compton said is that, the KCLB is its own community, and then we project all of our teams out into the community to be better people, and then they come here to do some work.
Yeah.
The sense of community that we have in the KCLB is a priority, and that's awesome. Like that's cool to hear you say that, and to push that onto your players.
Yeah. Sometimes the most important part of you being an athlete and you being a college age, man is that it's not always about the impact you make on yourself or what you've done. It's about, sometimes it's more important to see the impact you made on another person, or the impact you made on your teammate, or your catcher as a pitcher, the impact you make on the catcher when you're on the game, off the field. Creating that better relationship is you're going to get better results on the field if you guys have a better relationship off the field. And I think that's a big part. I always tell them, I'm like, you're here for 2 months and you think some of these guys are you're never going to see again, which you're probably right. Some of those guys you're not going to see again, but some of these guys are going to be at your wedding, in your wedding. Some of these guys are going to be, your kids are going to call them uncle. Some of these guys are going to be people you're going to see and their families and see their parents all the time, and you're going to become best of friends. There's guys that I played with. I played for Park City for 1 summer, and I'm sure we'll get to this later, but we've been hosting forever, and my parents have been hosting for 18 years, 15 years, probably something like that. Math is hard, but long time. We've had many, many host kids. So growing up, I was a Park City Ranger growing up. So then we've hosted them forever. And then I played for them my first summer. And then I went to Joplin and played 2 summers in Joplin and stayed with the host family and did kind of the same idea as we have here. And it was kind of a whole different world to go somewhere and be the host kid and stay with someone else instead of being the host family and hosting someone and seeing that on the other side. And the Mink League is an incredible place, and I think it's a league that every summer league achieves to kind of be that. We had 1,200 to 4,500 fans every game. We were signing autographs. We were making impact. You wear an Outlaws shirt to the gas station and an old lady buys your gas. Like it was a crazy impact, and you felt famous without being famous. And it was an amazing experience. And I think that we are achieving that here with the KCLB. Is we're slowly getting to the point where everyone's recognizing the logos and people are recognizing the names and the teams. And the more and more we do, and the more we kind of branch out and advertise. And I think you guys all sitting in this room are doing an incredible job at that, of creating this brand of what the KCLB is. And, it used to be the Walter Johnson back in the day. It was the Walter Johnson League, and that had a standard. And then it kind of all got devolved and changed, and everything's kind of taken a couple steps back. But now the last 5 years has been a huge leap forward as far as the league goes and the brand goes. So,
yeah. Well, you guys have been, you guys were hosting, I'm trying to think of what year, probably since the inception of the Rangers, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the Rangers started in like 1999 or something like that. Well,
pretty close to you still being in high school?
No,
or maybe not even getting in high school?
9 years old.
Wait, I was a freshman in high school in 99. Yeah.
That's around that time frame. But your mom obviously was one of the, like when I first got involved, your mom was one of the first people that I like sat down and talked with and like tried to just get the lay of the land, because she knew a little bit of everybody and everything that was going on.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely kind of got the ball rolling from there. And it's funny that you played in Joplin, because I played in Joplin the first year that the team was there.
Yeah.
So just small world.
Was Mark Raines the owner at the time?
Yeah.
They're not even in the Mink anymore.
I know. It's all changing. Mark, I know I talked to Mark probably a year ago or so, and I was sad to see him sell the team, but I think it was probably time for him.
Well, the guy that bought it is a big baller.
Yeah. I still follow him on social media and kind of see how they've been running, and it's crazy. That stadium is incredible. Joe Becker Stadium is amazing. It has so much history, the hill in right field, and it's a great place to be. Joplin was a very, very good place to be.
Yeah, the year I went there was the year they had the tornado.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. We showed up, and like the first week was just us doing community service, like helping like pick up trash and pick up places that had been destroyed. Like it was wild.
Yeah.
It was a wild summer. Like it was just, there's a lot of moving parts to that summer, and they were trying to start a baseball team in the midst of all of that, but they were already committed to doing it. And like, it was crazy.
I'm sure even now, however many years ago the tornado was, you can still see, you can just tell where it was. You know, you are driving down range line and you just look around and you're like, oh, there's a new building. Trees are short. You know, everything's super short and small, and it's just kind of been rebuilt.
What year was that?
I'm trying to remember. It would have had to have been 2011, 2012, somewhere in that range.
So fun story here is when I worked with Kroger, we were sending truckloads of water to Joplin. So could it have been during that time, or was there another storm that could have happened that was just as bad? Because it pretty much leveled just about half of Joplin.
Yeah.
That's probably the one. But I think it was 2011. I think. I don't know. I don't remember. Like you said, math is hard.
Yeah. So let's, I want to reflect on the first time I really got to see your hype. Okay. A couple years ago at the SBS, you came up to me and you said, "Hey, I'm getting married, but if we make it to the championship game, I'm coming back for another ring." Like like how you said that to me just lit a fire, and I was just like, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
My goal that whole summer was I want to go back-to-back days with rings. I got married on Saturday the 3rd, and then the 4th was the championship. And that was what I was yearning for, was to try to get there. And we didn't make the cut, but I mean, it was definitely something that was something that I was honestly meaning. It was something that I really wanted to try, because we already had planned our honeymoon for, months out. We knew that's not what we wanted to do. We didn't want to go right after the wedding, especially with baseball and kind of the summertime. It's like, it's warm here. Why do we want to go somewhere warm when it's warm here? So we pushed it to the end of January. And so we were like, it's something I could have done. If it would have happened, I would have gotten married on Saturday and came back on Sunday and tried to coach a game and win the championship.
Oh, yeah,
it's definitely something I would have done.
The level of hype that you said that at, and like just piercing eyes, that was super cool. So let's talk about Summer Ball Showdown, your experience there. I know you were an assistant, and then you've been a head coach.
Yeah. I mean, the Summer Ball Showdown, I mean, it's really has grown, and the the intent behind it has always been incredible. And the tournament itself, being in the small town of Goddard, me being a Goddard kid and being, I've been a part of Goddard my entire life. So seeing that huge tournament show up there every year and kind of being a part of it, you see the whole community kind of interacts, and it's been a very beneficial thing. I think I really wish that we could keep guys all summer and actually put up a fight at that tournament. I think the best we've placed is like a tie for third, I think, as the curve, which this year would have been our year to make a good run, but all of our star players had vacations and mommies and girlfriends they wanted to go back and see. So I mean, it's a tough time. It's just crazy. I know, like, kind of going back to Joplin is when I played there, nobody left. Nobody left. Everyone was there from day one to the last day, till we lost our last game and couldn't go any further. That's when everybody went home. So seeing how that's kind of grown into where kids have vacations and kids have all this stuff when lined up, and like we talked about last night, coaches saying like, hey, I need you to report on August 1st. Like, it's deteriorated this. It's deteriorated this, and it's kind of diluting what the whole purpose of summer ball is, and especially the KCLB and the SBS. Like, it's the end of the year, end all be all. Like, the Dodgers wouldn't just drop, like Mookie Betts wouldn't just go on vacation right before the World Series. It's just not something that happens. And granted, it's a completely different aspect, but it's the same idea. It's the end of tournament. You're having a time to win a championship. Regardless of how important you may think it is or isn't, it's a championship. It's a ring you can wear. It's a win. It's a game you can win. And I think that is the part that you have to kind of almost push to these kids, is understand, like, it's still baseball. You still have umpires. You still have a scoreboard. You still have outs and strikes and balls. It's the same game you play everywhere else. It's the same game. So you should want to win it. You should want to win as much as you possibly can, because eventually you don't get to put your cleats on anymore. You don't get to throw the ball anymore. You don't get to take an at bat, in a competitive scene. So at some point, you just have to understand that no matter when you put a jersey on and when you step on a field, you should want to win. Whether it's dirt, turf, raining, shining, whatever it is, you should want to step on the baseball field and win every aspect of the whole game. So that's kind of a big, going back to my coaching kind of prospect, is how I push to these kids of, like, understand that when you show up, you should show up better than them. You should wake up better than them. You should put your spikes on before they do. You should be warmed up before they are. You should every foul ball should be ours, whether we're the home team, away team, beat them to everything. Hand the ball to the umpire. Say, sir. The umpire is not dude or bro. It's sir every single time. That's what I've always pushed, and that's what I was pushed as a player. So those kind of bits and pieces of how I was coached, plus how I am as a person, is how I've kind of mended my coaching style. There's goods and bads from how I was coached, and I kind of tweaked that and try to push as much good as I can. Mm-hmm. So those are the kind of things that I think that the generation needs to learn, is that you put on a jersey, you want to win, you respect the people around you, you start a community, you make friends with the people around you, and good things start to happen. I mean, on and off the field, good things will happen.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me that we have to explain to guys that they get the opportunity to play. It's like, it blows me away how they value certain things. Like
I have to play today.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, you couldn't peel me off a baseball field. Like, I didn't care about my girlfriend. I didn't care about vacation.
Yeah.
I didn't care about any of that. Like, I want to play.
Yeah.
Like, that was the priority. It was the life. Like, that was the lifestyle. It's what I wanted to do. Everything was geared towards that. And that's it. Like, my mom would never in a million years even suggest the idea of, oh, hey, we're going to go to the lake this weekend, knowing that I'm playing baseball. Like, it just wouldn't have been a thing, like, but she was also obviously a college athlete and played at a high level. And so she got it, but I don't know. Like, it's wild in this day and age, how many guys towards the end of the summers and even the beginning of the summers, like, they're just like, oh, well, I just need a break. I just don't want to do this, don't want to do that. And it's like, dude, if you're trying to tell me on one hand that you want to be a professional player, I don't care what level it is, like a professional level, but yet you need a bunch of breaks all the time. Yeah. Like, dude, like, you're living in fantasy land.
Yeah. If you want to go play pro ball, that's 162 games. We play 40 a summer.
Yeah. Like, you're in fantasy land. If you think you need a 3-week vacation to go reset and recharge from what?
Yeah.
Like, riding pine for 2 months? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you don't need freaking breaks. Like, you need to get a better routine. You need to take care of your body better. You need to actually get into the stuff that is going to help you perform. But that takes discipline and consistency and all the things that they don't want to do. They just, I don't know.
This rant can go forever.
I know.
It drives me crazy.
Your mental game has to be there before your physical game can.
Absolutely.
If you're not mentally strong in any part of your, life or sports or anything, if you're not mentally strong, your physical is not going to follow.
No.
So that's the most important part, is understanding why you're there, why you're here in Wichita or Clearwater or Wellington or Winfield, wherever you are. Understand why you're there and what you're here to do, and that is to play baseball and win baseball games and improve your game.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yep.
Well, that kind of segues right into what we always do, is at the end, we let you do some shout outs and tell us what's something important to tell the youth that's coming up.
Well, first of all, shout out to my wife, Remington. Without, her positive force to me, I wouldn't be able to do what I do as far as coach. And she chases me around. She's at every single game. She carries in buckets. She carries in the cameras, and she sets it up, and she checks the score, and she does game changer every once in a while when we don't have a player or a dad to do it. So first of all, shout out to her. I think the impact, like we've talked about it throughout this whole, session so far, is just about the impact you can make on someone else. What you can do or say, sometimes you don't even have to talk to someone directly. Just having the positive character and carrying yourself with good positivity and hype and energy and being positive on and off the field. I think that can, you may never know what kind of impact you made on somebody, but just someone seeing, man, he's really excited to be here. Maybe I should be more excited to be here. Or, he just gave up, 4 hits and 6 runs and walked 4 guys, but he came back to the dugout and set his stuff down and was right back cheering on his team. Like the positive impact you can make on somebody is not always about hitting 4 home runs or punching out 10 guys and throwing 7 shutout innings. It's more about the person you are in the dugout, off the field, not letting guys drive home if they drink, not, taking care of your buddies when they're sick or when they're sad, or, being the positive force that you want to be, the guy that someone looks at and be like, you know what, I'm going to go talk to him. I'm going to go talk to him. I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm happy, whatever. I want to let him know, be that person that gets to know the good and bad of everybody. So that's kind of something I've always preached to the kids I've coached, and even to people who talk to me, or, even my children. I'm about to have a son. So that's something I'm going to pour into him, is don't always worry about some of the things that, you think you have to show everyone. Just don't worry about showing everybody. Just be a positive person, be happy, provide something to somebody every morning you wake up. Do something that you think that is good for the world and good for yourself.
I love it, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Congrats on the boy.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, first try.
Sean, you got anything to add in here? Sean, one question for him before he's getting out of here? Anything?
Well, the thing that stood out to me, it reminded me of a time.
Because he said Dodgers?
No.
Oh, okay.
Back to back.
Yeah. When you talked about your time at Pratt and how it isn't just funny that they canceled baseball and took everybody off the field and then left the bars open.
I would agree.
It
is a funny thing. I mean, I was literally in Dodge or Garden, one of the two. We just got off the bus. I was put my stuff in the bullpen. Pitcher was warming up, gave him the game ball. Umpires just showed up. We were like pretty close to starting the game. And then the conversation, the whole bus ride was, oh, the NBA shut down, or the NBA is about to shut down. It was all the same timeline of all that. And then it kind of turned into, what's our season going to end up? Like if the NBA shut down, we're a JUCO, we're definitely going to have some correlation, some crossover. And the coaches just kept telling us, like, we haven't heard anything. We're playing a game today. And it was fall ball. So at that point, we're like, okay, maybe they cancel fall ball. We just kind of practice until they figure this stuff out. And that's kind of what our end all be all. We didn't think the whole season, go home. You have 3 days. We got off that bus on the way back, and it was, you got 3 days to be out of the dorms. You're going to get fined $100 a day while you're here. And it was just snap of a finger, bam, whole world's flipped upside down. Guys, the eligibility. I think this year was the last year kids had COVID years.
Yeah, I think it's this year.
And we're, 6 years out.
Removed,
it's just completely turned the whole world upside down. So it was crazy. I mean, it was definitely a huge shock, and I still don't have my fungo. I left my fungo in Garden City.
Naturally, they kept it.
I mean, hey, Baca, get him a fungo from your
I got
bad
one.
part. Oh, okay.
I got one. He got me a curve one. A job bats. Shout out job bats.
There you go.
For the Kansas Curve.
Yeah, for the Kansas Curve.
Yeah.
It was I was a sophomore in college when that happened. Everything sent us home, and then I was home for 6 months. I was really ready to go back to school.
Yeah.
Come that next fall. But I think you highlighted well in that last little monologue you had. Because I was going to ask earlier, tell these guys they just don't stop. So you're having energy as a coach is always a tricky thing, I think, right? How do you stay authentic in the energy? Because I mean, kids will either feed off that authentic energy or they're just like, this guy's doing too much, right?
Yeah. I think there's definitely levels to it. I think I've grown as a coach. My first couple years as coach, I kind of went too far with it sometimes. I also kind of let I let frustration sometimes lead the energy instead of intent and positivity lead the energy. So for a while, when I was my first couple years of coaching the Curve, I was the one yelling at the umpire. I was the one chirping at kids, and I was the one telling guys to do this. And so learning and kind of self-reflecting and kind of understanding what worked and what didn't as my first couple years of coaching. And now understanding what works better and just kind of feeding the influence and staying calm until good things happen. Have energy when good things happen. Even when bad things happen, create energy that's good. Don't have energy towards the bad. Have energy towards correcting the bad and creating good. So I think that's kind of what I've learned is works the best for me. And obviously I'm still young and I'm still, young in my coaching career. So I'm going to continue to kind of learn and grow from that. But as far as it stands now and the success that I've had as a coach and the successes that I've had on the field, I think just understanding every player's different. Every 40 guys that shows up every summer are different guys. They act differently. Each one of them has their own personality. Like I said before, they all have their own hype level. So understanding kind of how my group of guys is going to work and how they're going to mend together, that kind of tells me what kind of energy I need to have. If there are guys that they need a little push, or if they're already started hot, I'll match them or stay with them and then calm them down. When sometimes it's like, hey, let's reel this back a little bit. We're down 2 runs. We need to have good energy, not, don't recollect on the bad call the umpire made at third base. Don't be so upset about the bad strike call or the bad ball call. Feed into the good stuff. Worry about the good stuff. And we had a guy hit a base hit and you got to hustle double. Build on that. You're so worried about the home plate umpire missed a call 4 plays ago. Like, we have a guy on third base with 2 outs. Let's go tell the guy that's at the plate to get a base knock or do something, find a way to get that run in. So that's the kind of things that kind of shift focus and kind of understand what the purpose of the game is and where the game's at.
Yeah. And it changes too as you go from assistant to head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, like the assistant coach energy is going to be different from the head coach.
For sure,
energy.
yeah. And it definitely, that was a huge step for me, is kind of understand where to step back a little bit. And I think, the last couple years, it was kind of nice. I got to be the coach and nobody can be mad at me. I don't write the lineups. I didn't do any of that. And now this year I did write the lineups. I did make the calls and I tried to do my best. But at the end of the day, if you're wearing purple and orange, you're here to win. So I'm going to write the best 9 guys are going to show up and play. And that's kind of the way it is. And that's the way it should be. And that's the way, some of these kids and coaches don't understand. Like, they think that their kid's going to play all the time. It's not. It's still a game. Like I said before, it's the same game they played at school, the same game they played when there was T-ball. It's baseball. You have innings and outs and strikes and umpires and fans, and it's a game you want to win. So you're here to win.
I'm purposely not talking so I don't rant on that either.
Yeah.
Because I can talk about that for easily an hour.
I was just going to ask you one last question. As you were talking about, figuring out what level of hype they are,
it just drives me crazy.
What level of hype.
Yeah.
Do you have your own meeting and you're like, this kid 3, this kid 7? Whew, this guy's going to be fun. Like, do we sit down and chat with our players, individually and stuff like that? Or is it always the group setting, bringing the group to a certain level together?
I think it's kind of a little bit of both. I mean, I've never actually sat down and said, but I do preach it. And, a lot of the guys don't know about it. It's something they've never heard. So I always preach it and say, like, that's something you need to self-reflect and understand. Like, where do I where do I perform the best? Do I perform better when I'm calm and collected, or do I perform better when I have a little bit of fire underneath me, a little bit of juice behind me? So that's something I preach and then try to teach them and say, hey, self-reflect, gather that information, and then play with it. Go warm up in the bullpen at an 8 or a 9. And then if you're not doing very well in the bullpen at 8 or 9 or in practice, show up to a practice at a 10 and see how much different your game is and how much different your day is. Pop around the field, scream, yell, sing to the music in BP. Do those things that everyone else shows up and creates a drag. Make a moment out of everything. Create a moment. You have to be in the moment to create a moment. So that's something that I've always done. I think you could sit down with them and talk to them, but they're here for 2 months.
Right.
So I have to kind of gather that information so quickly. For the first 2 weeks, I barely know their names. I barely know who they are, what they do. I just try to look at a roster and say, hey, 44, go, you're next, you're next, you're next. And then all of a sudden, 3-4 weeks, halfway through the season, I know everybody. I know everything, how they work. I try to, it's a very quick process. You have to learn quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I always feel like the first half of the season is like kind of you still don't want to win. You got to make your firm mark as a coach. But by the time that second half rolls around, guys, you built the relationship, how to communicate with them. Because I think it is a little bit of both. It has to be a case-by-case basis sometimes. Like I can't meet my 7th inning reliever with the same energy I meet the starter with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 different mindsets. Sometimes that 7th, 8th inning guy is smash 2 Red Bulls out of the mound.
Oh, yeah.
Throw them down, run.
I've had plenty of those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that starter is super chill,
cool as a cucumber.
Needs the calm, know.
I had a reliever pitcher this last summer who would show up to every game with 4 of those 20-ounce Red Bulls.
20.
Oh my
4
goodness.
of them, and he was like, "These are my 5th, 6th, and 7th of the day," and he's just a maniac, absolute.
Have
maniac.
you checked on him this year? Is he alive?
I've seen him. He's been in the group chat a couple times. I think he's coming back.
He's like, I can't get it. I can't get it. How do I click this button?
Keep sending in pictures of the group chat. It's like number 9 today, boys.
Yeah,
we're still grinding.
One thing I do want to say is like to people who host families, like I talked about a little before. I wanted to kind of touch on that quickly, but coming from, I was a host brother and I was a host son. I think the impact that host families make is unbelievable. It's like we've talked about all the time at our league meetings, and even with me and Bach, I talk about it. Like they are the heart and soul of what we do as a summer baseball league. Is they create an environment for our kids to come home to sleep, to do their laundry, to get food, all those things. So being able to be on both sides of it, I've been a host kid and a host brother of guys who have come in. Like I said, we've hosted since like 2008, 2007. We had a couple guys, and our very first host son, Blake Drake, played Indiana State, got drafted by the White Sox, hurt his arm, tried out for the Wingnuts, just had an up and down career. And he is, to this day, my brother. Like his kids call me his uncle. He's very important to me in my life. Like we see him a lot. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. We drive to Louisville and see him all the time. He was in my wedding. I was in his wedding. The impact that you can make as a host family is incredible. And all of my host brothers growing up, I still talk to or still keep in touch with. And even some of them who are now college coaches use as contacts to get some of their guys. And it's very important. I think that, that was something that was very special to me as a young baseball player growing up, getting to see the level of intensity and seeing that high level baseball as such a young kid was so impactful on my career and wanting to continue to play and wanting to get better and wanting to do those things. So if you're a potential host family out there who has young kids who are playing baseball, or even just young kids who are athletes, honestly, really think about and understand, coming from me, who has been a host brother, a host son, a host dad, I've hosted guys, the impact that it can make is unbelievable. I want you to truly understand that. And I don't know if that gets talked about enough. And testimonies don't ever come out. It's usually posts like, oh, please host, please host, please host. It's never, we don't get a lot of testimonies from other host families saying like, it is truly an incredible experience to be able to host somebody, to come in, to go to their games, to watch them grow, to treat them as a brother. And then even when they're gone, they're here for 2 summers and they're here for two months. And then all of a sudden I've been friends with them and known them for 10 plus years. So it's very, very impactful.
Yeah. They're the backbone. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's just without them, the league is not possible.
No.
And to be honest, a lot of these players, they would not go as far as they do in their careers without this experience and being able to continue to work on their craft and get better at the game and work on those things. And without host families, they don't have the same opportunities, because going home and training and hitting in the cage and stuff like that, like, it just doesn't emulate playing games. And without host families and places for these guys to stay, they're college athletes, they don't have any money, they can't stay in hotels for 2 months. Like, it's just not feasible from a financial standpoint. And so for the host families, like, yes, is there some, expectation there and commitment and, like, some pieces to it? 100%. We're not saying it's the easiest thing in the world. Like, you're gonna have to be comfortable with an athlete coming in and getting to know them and putting yourself out there a little bit and that type of stuff. But the guys that we all recruit and the people that we're trying to have on these teams, like, they're good young men. Like, they are trying to do something good with their lives and trying to play a game that they love. I've been doing it a long time, and we don't have very many bad stories. Like, we've had a couple speed bumps in the road from here and time to time, just small things, but usually it's a communication issue or something like that. It's not a big, behavioral problem or things like that. Like, usually it's pretty small stuff, but we definitely, want to continue to grow our host family. I mean, I treat the host family network just like I treat the teams. Like, it's just like they're a different style of recruiting, and we do off-season meetings, and we do the whole thing with them as well too. And we have just great families across the board, and so we can't thank you guys enough that do it. And if you're somebody that might be interested in doing it, definitely reach out, because the experience on both sides of the coin, with the player side, but then also the family side, like, they're one of a kind experiences. And if you pour into those a little bit, like he said, you're going to build a relationship with someone that you would have never met before, that, might just become a super important person in your life for the rest of your life. And, those types of relationships, you can't put a price tag on that, and you can't put it into words, really. So, very, very important stuff.
If you have questions, KCLBonline.com.
Yeah, check us out. Holler at us.
Oh, yeah.
But
well, Jacob, that was awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
And I know you got to get going because you have a lesson at some point today.
Yep.
And
I won't be going very far. I'll just go
just go
downstairs.
downstairs. So, but thanks for joining us, man. And
thanks for having me.
Maybe back to back for KCLB.
Yeah.
Nope.
We'll see. We'll see. We have a good squad lined up, so hopefully we can do our best and kind of push through another summer and stay at the top. That's the goal. Stay at the top.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, listeners, hang tight. We have Gage Walker waiting to come on with us. So we're going to get Jacob out of here, and we'll be right back.
Small intermission. You have a commercial lined up for this?
Oh,
Nobody keeps track.
I mean, home run derby's more important, right? It's all about home runs now. Yeah. Anyway.
Dylan just done.
Dude, he hit some bombs.
That was that last round where.
And he hit like 4 straight.
His first one that before he really got going, freaking Mateo robbed it.
Yeah. In the
right
home
at
run
the
derby.
wall. I was like, we were like.
Hey, that's home field advantage, man.
And
Adrian Martin was hitting for us.
Right.
We had a lefty going oppo.
And then he got rolling, and those balls were, one of them hit halfway up one of those light poles. And I was like, oh my gosh, kid's a freak, but in a good way.
He could swing it.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, the Mulvane, especially this last year, everything's kind of in full swing now. It's funny. I think the first year, every time we went to Mulvane, I was gone.
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason, I had missed every away game against the Patriots. But so, like, this year, I also missed another one. But every time we were there, it's obviously always a good game between us. The atmosphere is really fun. All-Star game was awesome. I mean, it either a good game, the All-Star game, or just something crazy that happened.
Yeah, that rain out. That was a
Yeah,
good
the rain
one.
out. Yeah, the rain out. That was the
got
thing I was forgetting.
We got a lot of views on the boys running the bases and sliding.
Oh yeah, that was like a
monster hailstorm, whatever.
Pick that up. Something picked that up. What? That post. I remember that. Like it was a news outlet or like
it was some.
It was like a
thing.
ESPN, Instagram, like one of theirs or something. Like pick that up.
Yeah,
it went viral. What was his name? Second base. Now I forgot his name, but we were like trying to tell somebody. Nolan is his name. Low. No, it wasn't Noe. But we're trying to get somebody. I wasn't. I really didn't care. We try to get somebody to go run the bases out there after, I think, was it
Gio?
Your guy slid into home plate.
Yeah, our superstar got talked into it, and he's the sweetest kid ever. And I'm in the press box trying not to get hailed on, talking to Sheldon, and I just see this little bolt of lightning running around the base path, sliding because it's just pure mud and
he
chaos.
Just slides and lands all around third. He made it all the way to third and just eats it.
Yeah.
And then your guys come out and try to tag him out at home, and then our other guys out there saying he's safe. It was a lot of fun, and then like the next game we were there, Kellen had to sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah, there's been 2 national anthem outages that I've been a part of in this league, and Kellen has sang both of them.
Yeah.
One of them has been at Valley, and the one time he ran and operated a game for us in Mulvane, he had to sing it for us at Mulvane. I don't know if that's a coincidence or a planned thing, but
I don't know. He nails it.
Man. Shout out to Kellen.
The music just isn't working again.
He was up like
sorry.
This is the 3rd time we've talked about Kellen on here. I think we need to get him on.
Dude, Kellen was bellowing. I mean, it was impressive. He let it eat.
Went all out.
He did.
He can sing a little bit.
He was up there letting it eat, man. I was impressed. And then there was the one time we sang the national anthem together as teams when Kellen didn't. Like year 1. That was terrible.
Well,
that was terrible.
It was off the.
Was that at your place?
Yeah, it was at our place. Wow. The speaker was out, so we were all just standing there.
Don't get reported back to the office.
To the league.
Standing there for a minute and a half, and then just somebody started singing, and everybody else joined. It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, somebody from just down the line on the Patriots line just started humming it, and then I just start hearing it, and I'm like, okay, we're rolling with it, boys.
Yeah.
Put it together.
Hey, the fans loved it. All 7 of them there, they clapped it up.
I mean, that's what it's about.
It was more like 14 this year, so we're like 100% increase in this past season.
Growth is growth.
Yeah. So Gage, talk to us about the Summer Ball Showdown. You've been a part of it in every aspect.
Every year,
and you've played in it. You've coached in it. We've told you can't play in it.
Hey, you said I can't play it as I'm head coaching.
Right. Now, I mean, that's like this year.
Okay.
So talk to us about the Summer Ball Showdown, your experience with the kids and as the Mulvane Patriots. I mean, you guys made a pretty cool run past couple years.
Yeah, we've had 2 top 8 finishes or around top 8 finishes in our 2 years, which is crazy. I mean, we were a couple games off both times from Championship Sunday. My experience with the Summer Ball Showdown, it's just one of the best events around. I've played in just about every tournament you can list around here in my time, just like every baseball player has experienced everything around their hometown or around their state. But Summer Ball Showdown just brings a different energy and like just vibe than any other tournament. There's a lot of different things happening on the extra field over there. There's the home run derby with Chick-fil-A, which is always great seeing dudes do. There's the wiffle ball tournament. There's always music going. And it's like good fun, camaraderie, but also it's win or go home time and people get pretty competitive. And I don't know what it is for me. There's always some extra life thing happening that just makes it even more exciting and charged for me. So I get way too into it. And our team loves it. Every year they ask me, they're like, Summer Ball Showdowns, like after the KCLB tournament, is that just like another us tournament? I'm like, nah, everybody's coming here. And we want to be the last 8 teams standing, or 7 teams now. We want to be the last 7 teams standing. And we've done a pretty good job as the KCLB and staking our claim and fighting for the title.
Yeah, don't you guys own one of the longest games?
Yeah, I think it was actually against you guys at Valley Center year 1. It was that midnight game that went forever. It was the game that Chris got tossed in for being outside the dugout.
I'm trying to
I don't know if Sean was there.
I might have been going.
It should have been, I think, 14.
I remember 14, Chris getting tossed.
14, 15 innings.
Yeah. We, so famously, if you're not aware of Summer Ball Showdown, there's like an 11 or midnight game that starts, or usually, and we got that wonderful draw against Valley Center year one. And the umpires were just happy to be there. They loved it so much, as they always do. And so we were just throwing jabs back and forth, and the game went forever. And somehow, Valley Center's coaching staff, they had to pick. One of them was getting ejected because they were both sitting outside the dugout.
Oh, yeah. They both left. Yeah.
No, Apple stayed. Apple didn't move. Chris,
I remember that now.
Chris came up top and started eating.
Yeah.
We came up there, and I was like watching the game, and I looked over, and I was like, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
And he was like, oh, I got tossed.
Yeah, it was
like anticlimactic. There was no uproar. Like the game just went like there was absolutely nothing.
And both of them were just standing outside the dugout.
Yeah, he threw me out because I was outside of the dugout, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
and he was just like, "Yeah," and just sat down beside me, and we were just sitting there.
I would like to say, I've told Chris this. That was my fault because I was.
Oh yeah, I know. I you're like, well, look at them over there.
Well, and then... so we had a wonderful kid from the DR that spoke little to no English that we picked up just for that tournament. Great individual. And he was sitting on the bucket inside of the dugout. His feet were outside the dugout, and this umpire just kept pounding him the whole game. And I was like, dude, there's got to be something more important for you to watch than my guy's feet. No weird comment there, but and so I'm just like, they have 3 guys sitting out of the dugout or whatever. And he eventually walks over there and says, one of you two has to leave. And I'm like, this is not the result I wanted here, but this is hilarious.
Sure.
And that was before I got to really know Chris. And so that just makes it even better for me that he doesn't remember it very well. But it was a fun thing for me.
I gotcha.
That was a long game.
Because it was miserable.
Yeah, because the game before us went.
That was was that Park City and
no.
It was a different one though. But the game before
this was like a
later.
Thursday night.
Yeah,
like a Wednesday. It was either Wednesday or
start
Thursday.
till like midnight.
Yeah,
and then this year y'all went 18 innings with.
It was on field too.
Not 18 innings, but
felt like 18.
13 or 14 with the Cluckers.
We no, we went pretty long with the Moose this year. We had 2 great battles with the Moose in Summer Ball Showdown. The game felt like 5 hours against the Cluckers because nobody could buy an out. But
right, it only went 9 innings, but the score was like 18-13.
Yeah,
it was wild.
But it was tied until like the very end.
Electric is what it was.
It was a
I just remember we were talking to Jeff on the sidelines.
Oh, sweet and merciful.
Like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
not Jeff. Here he comes.
It was great. Jeff, the old mentor, was just giving me one last little goodbye gift, trying to send me home from the tournament. And I was just like,
"Is that an elimination game?"
No, it was game one.
It was a pool play.
He was trying to ruin our seating.
The weather that night
got
pushed back.
Yeah. It was great because all my guys would come off the mound and they'd be like, "It's slick, coach. I can't do it." I'm like, "Well, there's a 17-year-old over there who's throwing it right down the middle with no complaints, making us look bad." I'm like, I don't want to say get better here, but if they're doing it and we can't, this is a problem.
Be better.
Yeah. I was like, it's kind of that little voice in the back of your mind of like, yeah, just say it.
How do I be positive, but let me be real?
Yeah. Because as we all know at this table, I have no issue saying my honest opinion on things. So sometimes I got to kind of hold the collar back a little bit, especially in a baseball game.
That's fair. But yeah, so you guys actually had a ton of people show up for the Summer Ball Showdown just as a crowd thing at the home games. Once again, Mulvane coming in second for the amount of crowd or fans that show up, and then number 1 in beer.
Yeah, we finally took the crown of beer. Congratulations, City of Mulvane. We finally did it. We beat El Dorado.
Well, the Moose were pretty close to you guys too. So.
That's true. My days with the Moose, I did remember their crowds got rowdy.
Yeah. So who would you say is your rivalry game for the Mulvane Patriots?
It might change this year, but it was always Park City for us.
Park City's just got a target on their back.
Always a target.
It might
just smile.
It might have been it might have been self-imposed, but no, I mean Randy always coached great
on ours. Puka.
Excellent.
Randy always coached really good games against us, and they were competitive for the most part, but they always, we seemed to know players on Park City, or there was always hey, this team and yada, 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 yada. There was always something extra going on, nothing crazy, but just something under the surface. So we kind of ran with that for our first year and was really hey, we want to stick it to Park City, especially because my first year that they were really good. They were really good. So there was kind of just an extra layer into that. Year 2, for whatever reason, we did not like the Moose last year. I don't know why. I love Cole, so Cole, shout out to you. But for whatever reason,
Mike doesn't like Cole.
I like Cole. They're moving in the right direction. I still remember that post. But yeah, I like Cole and I liked a lot of their players, but for whatever reason, my guys just did not like seeing Cole. They always gave me some extra little something or another about how Cole said this or somebody said that. I'm like, Cole's one of the nicest guys. I doubt he said that to you.
Because he went in there and shoved on him the year before.
That's true.
Yeah.
Cole has taken the mantle from me. I don't know if he's had as good of pitching performances as I've had, but he's pretty close. Pretty close.
140 pitches in one game.
Yeah, one game. Shut him down.
The War Dogs. I know they remember me from that charity game. My arm still remembers it.
Speaking of the War Dogs, you will be playing them on the 3rd of July this year.
I hope to not be pitching.
You shouldn't be. You should have a team that has pitchers.
Yeah,
but
that's the goal.
The national team is coming through. They're going to travel through Wellington first, then Mulvane, and then their hope is to beat El Dorado for the first time.
They almost snuck it out last year, didn't they? I thought they gave them a scare
to the 4th inning.
Oh, well, that's good.
They have one win here in town.
They did
against Valley Center.
They did. I pitched
that game.
I remember they did because they came to our place that next game, and that was the game I pitched, and I was oh, these guys might be good, because you see the War Dogs walk up, and they're an intimidating group. They're a bunch of nice guys, but obviously they were ex-active service, so they're pretty big, large individuals, and some of them can hit a baseball.
Yeah, that's true. This year, I mean, the national team returns for the first time since, I want to say 2021. Would that be? Or maybe 2022. Oh, wow. I don't know. Either way, the national team has grown quite a bit. There's 20 different organizations that they host a spring training for, and we're all for it. I've already made some contacts in Mulvane to get things moving for everyone, and it's just an awesome opportunity. So.
Oh, for sure. I mean, any event like that where we can get people that we don't normally get at the ballpark, whether it's even our promotional nights where we give first responders and everything like that in for free. Anything like that's a great cause, because I just want to get as many people from Mulvane just to witness and be a part of a Mulvane Patriots game, because 9 times out of 10, when you come to one of those games and you just be there for the full game, they love it and they want to come back.
True.
I mean, we tied for an award for best attraction in Mulvane this year, and
tied.
We did, which is
with who?
The Hobbit Hole.
The Pullman Treehouse in Cattle Co. or something. I probably said it backwards.
Yes. Famously, their Hobbit Hole. They have
a Hobbit house.
They do. They have
the treehouse retreat. You can go stay in a treehouse. You can stay in an old streamline.
It's better than baseball.
We're limited.
As good as baseball.
Well, Sean, you got to remember, we're only there for a month or two. They have the whole year.
That's what makes you guys better.
It's pretty. When I was told that, because we love telling me these things a little late sometimes to get the full shock value, because I'm just one of those people, you want to see my reaction sometimes.
Very much true.
Yeah. When I was handed that and told that, I had to do the mental math. I was like, wait a minute, how were we up for this when we only have, but it kind of really shows that we make a really good community impact for the short time that we do get to do things. So it was a great thing.
Your mini camps have gone up quite a bit.
Yes,
and
sir.
Opening day fireworks with this chamber. You have that All-Star game, 4th of July game, where we make fireworks.
It's true.
Stuff like that. So it's just been forever growing, and that's awesome.
Yeah, the trajectory is just going up, and it's really interesting to think where we could be in a couple years or just at the end of this summer, because like we talked about, first year was just straight downhill, like strap in, prepare for the ride, because it's going to be a bumpy one and a learning curve, but there was a lot of beautiful moments along it.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see how this year goes.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of curious what would happen if you actually took a team to the championship game in Summer Ball Showdown.
I've heard rumors. I've heard rumors of what will happen. I don't want
like a parade.
I have heard if there was a parade, and my only comment about a parade is most of the guys will probably have gone home when the parades happen.
Sure.
But I will happily sit on a parade float with a championship hat,
yourself.
and
Yeah.
or whoever. All the locals can be there too. Yep.
Well, Joe Burrow style.
I don't know about that, but I will happily find a nice fancy chair and sit in a championship hat and jersey, and I will be a part of a parade.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
The last parade I got to be a part of, I didn't get to show my face. I got to be the wonderful mascot.
Oh,
yeah.
Nobody's supposed to know that.
Need the mascot.
Yeah, something like that.
But you had to know what parade I'm talking about for you to think about when I was the mascot. So if you were there, good job. You probably saw me. If not, you got to come out and check out the mascot.
Yeah, for sure. Old Pat Settler sitting over there by Sean. Oh. So Gage, talk to us about the plans for 2026. We definitely want to see the competitiveness come back. We want to see lights out pitching. We want some wins. We want a home game for the KCLB tournament. Talk to us about that and what you need from the community to make it all come to life.
Yeah, I mean, we have always started strong the last 2 years. I think we've got off to like a 7-2 start both years, which is awesome. Then for whatever odd reason, we hit a weird bump in the road just because life happens or people go home or the unfortunate things that happen with summer baseball. And then we hit a snag and we kind of got to rebound and fix the team culture, the team energy a little bit and get back to where we are. And then we usually end the season pretty strong. So my big goal for this year is to get a little bit of a couple more older guys to kind of steady the ship and steady the hand a little bit. So we're good the whole season and not just great for the first half and solid for the back half. Because I would like to keep my hair and not rip it out. And the last 2 years, about the midpoint when we were a half game off from being a part of the All-Star game at home. And then we went from not being in the All-Star game to being in the All-Star game. And if we beat Valley Center, we would be in the All-Star game. All those text messages and things, it gets on you a little bit. So a big emphasis for that is just kind of playing a whole season and making sure we value all the reps. I'm a pitching first guy, as we've joked on here. I was a pitcher. I was a two-way in college. So I always try and get 1 to 2 big arms to spearhead the rotation. And we've done a pretty good job at that every year. I am going to try and get some more scrappy hitters this year. I want more on base percentage guys this year. So if you're listening and you're an OBP guy, holler at your boy. The Mulvane Patriots Twitter DMs are always open and the Facebook page is always live. We do a great job of responding to that. So come on in and we'll take a look at the videos. But from the guys we have so far, we have some real scrappy competitors, and I know that's kind of a cheesy coach saying, but this year I've done a little bit more research into the guys and really reached out to a lot more of their coaches and people that know them and try and get a little bit more of a third party opinion before I recruit some of the players. And that's the stuff I keep hearing, and that's the stuff I love to hear.
Good. So now's the time where you get to share a little bit of insight for the younger generation and some shout outs that you can have for your community and team with the Mulvane Patriots. The stage is yours.
Oh, the stage is mine. So really the thing that I want to shout out that we don't shout enough is our wonderful bat boys. Because we have about 2 to 3 bat boys that always rotate through, and they come out in full gear, hat and glove, pants, jersey, ready to rock and roll. And that was something that, you don't really think about, and you don't really like ever put on the bingo card of like, hey, we need one of these guys. And this is one of those things, but they've kind of been indoctrinated into the team both years. And year one, like I said, I got a text message about 20 minutes before the first practice. Hey, I would love to have my son come out. I'd love to have him catch some fly balls, work with you guys. And I was like, of course. Little did I know that kid was going to be there for 2 years and then bring more of his friends and more of his friends. And and now I see about 5 to 6 kids waiting outside our dugout each game, asking when it's their turn or when they can sweep the bases for our 7th inning stretch, with everybody loves, and all our community games. So that's a big thing that I want to give a shout out for, because like a little thing like that sparks a whole movement and just a community thing that, when you're somebody like us, we don't think about the value of that when we first start the team. We don't think about those little things that turn into big things.
Sure.
And that's something that I just like driving here today. I was like, man, that's crazy how that started as I want to just shag fly balls one day, to be the bat boy, to now sweeping the bases and be a part of all the games and everything.
Mm-hmm. And then what's your message to the young and upcoming athletes?
My message to the young-coming athletes is you have to know who you are and what you value as an athlete. That's kind of something I've been preaching a lot to my athletes at Heights High School, and kind of all the athletes that I work at as well. Is you have to and you have to kind of involve yourself with the things being said around you, but you also have to know who you are and what you value. Because as a young man, when I went to college, I thought, man, okay, I'll slowly learn all these things and I'll slowly kind of buy in and learn as I go, which is a way of working. But my second year, when I was a sophomore, I was like, hey, this is the stuff I really value. This is the stuff that I want to get better at. This is the stuff that I'm like, this matters to me. And when I really bought into that and just kind of went full force into that, I saw the biggest change as me as a person and me on the field and in all aspects of my life. You can't just fake it till you make it at certain points. You have to really say who you are as a man and as an athlete. And if you can start to figure out what you value earlier on, easier life is, because especially in baseball, you are going to fail a lot. I mean, a lot. 7 out of 10 times. If you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're on a Hall of Fame trajectory. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. True. Sean, you have anything?
No, man, just Mulvane's been really cool to watch grow. It's obviously I've kind of a inside view at it all, being in here every day, and we'll go hang out with Dave every now and then, go on a trip down to Mulvane for something, or so I think it's really cool. A ton of community support. Obviously, the best drinkers in the league. So
taking the crown.
And look, man, those fans really do care. I mean, you go there and they're locked into the game. Passion, care, yeah. So it's awesome, building something good, and I just keep up the work, being involved, and getting things continue to roll down there.
Sure.
Yeah. No, our fans and our host families are. I know a lot of people say theirs are the best, but I genuinely think ours are the best.
No, ours are.
No, I know. I set you up for that one. But no, I mean, it's funny because I remember last year there were times I had conversations with host families about baseball nuance and things of that nature. And because they're not baseball people, and
they learn it.
Yeah, they want to learn so they can talk more to their athletes and be more a part of everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And kind of bridging that gap from different walks of life. It's a beautiful thing to see, like when you drop that kid off or you help that kid to your host family day one, and it's kind of that awkward, like, I don't know you very well, you don't know me. And to then when you're helping them leave the last day and they're like
both crying.
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to go. Or like, hey, they're in all my family group chats now. It's like, can they come back next year and everything like that? Or just hearing like the text messages when we do our host family meet and greets and things of that nature, or when I see those people and they're like, yeah, I still talk to such and such to this day. And I really just like, it's so great to see him and be a part of his journey.
Sounds like we just need to say shout out to the Mulvane host families.
Yeah,
Thank you for everything you do for our players.
They are
you
the
show
best.
up at the games, you support them, you love them. The players love you, and you're the backbone of Mulvane in the summer season for baseball.
Yeah, 100%. We could not make a percentage or a fraction of the things we do happen without them. All their support on and off the field is miraculous. I mean, they are. I know it's cheesy, but they are the best.
Yeah.
Like I could not ask for a better group of people to supporting us and myself as a team. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, Gage, that's it for us. If you want to stick around for our closing prayer, we usually ask Sean to bring it up and lay it down. So, Sean, do you mind leading us in a prayer?
I do not mind.
All right.
Oh, Lord, thank you for another good conversation today with two of our coaches in this league. Just thank you for blessing the league with many, many coaches who really are all about it, really want to lead these young men and bring them together and bring communities together and push them forward. It's really special to be a part of things that you're working through here. Just pray for all of our communities. I pray for Wichita, for Valley, for Mulvane, for Clearwater, Goddard, and Wellington, Winfield, Eldo, Park City. I just pray for all the communities because this is our home. These are our communities, and we just thank you for them. Pray for the health, the safety of them, and that in all we do, we honor and glorify you, so they can see us working towards something bigger than ourselves and take after that example. In your glorious name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, and one more thing, just pray for a healthy delivery of the baby for Compton and his wife.
Absolutely. Nailed it.
Congratulations, Mr. Compton.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
Well, that's it for episode 59. Kind of a long one here with Jacob Compton with the Kansas Curve Collegiate side of things, and then Gage Walker with the Mulvane Patriots. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you guys next time.